Right, welcome to my quick video of how to fix your walking boots by sticking the sole back on again. So often the problem with walking boots is you get the rubber sole detaching both ends. So first of all, start by ripping the whole lot off, getting past the original glue. Obviously this one's detached already, and I've part prepared this one for the job of re-gluing it. The next thing you want is to clean up both the shoe and the sole. An ideal thing for that is a grinding wheel. Get these for about £20, $20–30 from eBay or your local DIY store. So you want to rough up both the sole and the boot to expose the original leather underneath, so that the glue has a good hold on the rubber. So I've done a lot of this already. As you can see, the rubber's all exposed, a little bit of glue left on just to show you the process. So just go over the old glue, just rubbing it enough to remove the old glue without cutting through the rubber of the sole or of course of the boots. So just a little bit more of this to do, and we'll be ready to start applying the glue. Now, the sort of glue you need for this, well, the one I'm using, which is readily available, is contact adhesive. I much prefer the solvent based contact adhesive because it sets quicker and is stronger than the water based stuff. Still get hold of the solvent based, but normally they keep it behind the counter, so you'll have to ask the man in the store for it, or you get it on places like eBay, because it is going out of favour a little bit in the shops due to the glue snippers and the like. So that's the sole just about prepared. The edges are where they'll start to come apart, so take particular care with the edges. The sole's already mostly prepared, so again, similarly go over the sole, just exposing the basic rubber of the sole, roughen it up so you've got a basis for the glue to attach to. Now here's the glue. So you get an old paintbrush. This one I've used previously. It'd be ideal if you could have a new one, but because it's used previously it's pretty hard, so it's a bit like a spatula, but it's good enough. Just have to be careful not to leave too many lumps of glue over it. So that's not too unsightly. Be careful with the edges. Take it around the edge of the boot, rubbing in any patches of glue that are particularly thick or standing high, because what you want is for a nice thin layer of glue, and you want it to have been you want it to have partially set before you put the two together. And I found about 6 minutes or so seems to be ideal. Well, 6 minutes from completing covering both the shoe and the bottom of the shoe. So I'm doing the shoe first, so it's probably going to get about 10 minutes worth of drying time, with a little bit of going over some of the high spots afterwards, but we'll see that in a minute. So that's quite a nice level consistent layer. So what you don't want to do is leave blobs like that one there, because it won't be tacky and won't actually keep the sole and the boot together. Ideally you want it of the constituency of this, sort of a nice fairly sort of thick layer, but not something that's too thick that it doesn't dry off. Right, so you just have to be patient with me while I go around the boot and just covering all the bits that the sole is going to touch without going any further, so that you leave unsightly bits of glue sticking out. You're going to get a little bit of that, but these are walking boots, so don't have to be super posh. They're normally covered in mud anyhow after a while. So a little bit of glue poking out the side, I don't think it's going to make a huge amount of difference. Every boot's different, of course. These ones are glued on. I suppose there are other sorts of boots, even in the olden days, they were tacked on. And the critical bit about this is, of course, is what glue you use. So I'm using a glue that's readily available. There may be other glues out there that are more suitable, or more perhaps specially designed for rubber on rubber boot type applications. And so that's just a matter of a little bit of experimentation, see what lasts and what doesn't. But if you get a problem with the particular glue that you use not working very well, well, you just have to go through the same process again of ripping the sole off and experimenting perhaps with another glue. So I think this should at least last quite a while and prolongs the life of the boot, providing the actual sole's okay. If you're lucky and the sole, well, if you're unlucky the sole has worn out and you are lucky to actually find a replacement, you may actually be able to get new soles to stick on your pair of boots. I would have thought that a little bit unlikely unless you've got a completely flat boot bottom. These particular ones, of course, as you can see, are moulded to the boot, so are of a particular design. So we'll continue gluing. When I've done this, we'll just recheck the boot again, so you can see little bits of dribbled, so just rub those back in again. You can see the glue starting to dry. Nothing wrong with touching up, just rubbing down those high spots, all those thick spots. We'll come back to that again in a minute. So you may be worried that the glue has dried too much, and certainly on the previous boot I'd done, which was left about 6 minutes or so, you could actually touch the glue in some parts and didn't feel hugely tacky. But the thing is, with contact adhesive, if you cover both contact surfaces, i.e. both the sole and the boot in this case, when they actually come together, even though they're not fantastically tacky, they will stick to each other very, very well. And what you want to do is allow a little bit of drying to occur before you stick them together, because it's very difficult for the air to get in to the middle of the sole when it's glued on, so it'll take a long time to actually set otherwise. Probably a little bit of heat would help, maybe stick them on the radiator or something. You'll put them in a warm room and we'll finish doing that. Right, that's both of them covered. See, in some spots it's dried a little bit too much. Just put a little bit more glue on there. Some parts of it may be particularly absorbative, if that's a word. Now I'm going to leave that for about 6 minutes. So check the watch and come back, and then it's just a matter of pressing the two together. So start at one end and firmly push around the sides, and I'd recommend putting the shoe on and squeezing it down, making sure all the edges stick. Here's the previous shoe that I did about 15 minutes ago, so you can see it's nice and secure, all the edges are good. Still needs a little bit of drying time, of course, so the glue's stuck the edges, but you can see a fraction amount of movement, so a good couple of days in a warmish room should allow the glue to fully harden. So there's your boot, fully fixed and good for well, quite a few more miles of walking hopefully. And if you do get any problems with the thing detaching again, and then you can go through the same process. I suspect there are some dedicated rubber glues out there that maybe do a better job, but maybe that's for next time. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.